Made some choice on Egyptian Queen 2. Post Queen 3 nickname under it. About to show you why Sony's in trouble right now. Here we go. Here we go. You see my short right there. It says Sony in trouble. You'd be able to play Sony and Microsoft games on Fire TV stick. But also, I've seen a lot of people get Nintendo Switch from other stores. Other stores I know, including the one I'm going to this August 3rd upcoming, is probably gonna have the Nintendo Switch Lite for a reasonable price. But yeah, play the short. Here we go. And a comment on that short too as well. Comment on that short too as well. The reason why Sony's in trouble because not only that they don't have no first parties, also they don't have anything coming out of the games I just told you about that might say PS5 Pro potentially, Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch Lite and Nintendo Switch 2. But when you play Microsoft on your Fire TV, so anybody has Game Pass Ultimate, you'll be able to play on your Fire TV stick if you got the Fire TV stick 4K Max or the 4K from the one that came with the one from last year's model. Follows the Fire TV stick pretty much. That's why I said Sony's in trouble. Because if the PlayStation app is on there too, that could be a wrap for Sony right there. Because you'll be able to play your Sony games and Microsoft games on Fire TV stick. Once they announce when the apps are going to be there on Fire TV stick 4K and 4K Max. But a lot of people are bashing Microsoft because of their hypocrisy when it comes to these console wars pretty much. And like I said, you can't bash them. And I told my family that's in this house that's downstairs. Basically, you can't bash if you don't buy the games. You don't buy the games pretty much. You go through other means. Well, I'll say it again. You go through other means too much. If you had the money to buy your controller, and this is to my family that's down in the basement sleeping right now, if you had the money to buy your controller, you should have the money to buy these games physically. And I told you need an internal hard drive to install your stuff, because you're not going to have the space to install Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Let me get back to the short anyways. On Fire TV Stick 4K Max and 4K from last year's model for 4K for Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K Max, and the regular 4K that's $50, and also the 4K Max that's $60. So you'll be able to play your Sony and Microsoft games on Fire TV. Sony's in trouble to the point I see a lot of people getting Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Switch Lite. I might get that from a bin store eventually because I was going to go there August 3rd to see if they had Nintendo Switch Lite. I was going to grab that too as well, because that way I had to get my games digitally, because I don't have any physical games. I would have to get them digitally. But everybody's bashing Microsoft because you be able, but because you have Game Pass Core for 6 months. Not only that, or Game Pass if you're a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber, like John, obviously once he re-up on that, obviously. The only issue with Game Pass Core, you get some of the games, but the other games you had to buy if you don't have them in your collection, pretty much. You had to buy them through the Xbox Store app, pretty much. But the reason why my cousin doesn't want to say, I don't want to say his name, honestly, but because I have every source to roast him. And I told him too, Sony, while I was tuning in 50 people from one of their studios because they're phasing out the physical media as far as their Blu-ray. Found that out too a few days ago early this morning too. They're phasing out the physical media as far as Blu-ray. And the way he'd be able to get the physical media, he had to go through eBay, Amazon, or GameStop. Yes. And the funny thing, he would not do that. My cousin would not do that, and you know why. He thinks he's entitled, and he's not. You're not entitled if you don't buy the games. You can't demand if you don't buy them. Who buys them here, who gets them free. Who does both, who gets it free, like John, who gets it free, and buys them for Game Pass Core on Fire TV Stick. And who gets them free? John, who gets them free, the 100 games free for Game Pass Core, and then buys them still digitally on the Game Pass, Game Pass. No, not Game Pass. Which come, but the Game Pass. Sorry about that. Who buys them on my? What I'm trying to say is who buys them on Microsoft, as far as the Xbox Store, and still plays them on the Fire TV Stick. Me, who buys it and gets them free. Me, and gets the rest of them free to Game Pass Core. Me, I said about the other games, but yeah, who gets them free on Game Pass Ultimate? John. To my cousin that's downstairs in his basement, I don't want to say they got no games because where would Halo be? If, well, I don't know Halo. It would not be no Xbox if it wasn't for, if it was no Halo. Pretty much, if it wasn't no Halo or Forza or any of the games that just came, any games that just the studios they just showed in the showcase. That would it would have been no Xbox One. Hell, it wouldn't have been no Xbox One X or Series S or X for sure. So who buys the games here for Game Pass Core? Me. Who gets them free? Me. Who gets them? Uh, 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 has to buy them and gets them free to me, who gets them free, John. So I told my cousin, honestly, you got no excuse for that. You got no reason for this. I know you're going to say the consoles, but you're getting the errors that started at 2 PSP era. And let's not forget that era too. PSP era, PS1 era, PS2, PS3, and PS4 era. And the PSP era was the reason why PS5 is selling the way it's selling. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been no PS5 either if it was for those errors that made it exist. So I told my cousin, I say it again, for sure. You need to start buying these games, man. For real, for real. And you'd be able to play it on Fire TV Stick. The one from last Fire TV Stick, 4K and 4K Max. Yes, yes. Go back to the short, but anyways. In the 4K Max, Fire TV Stick is $60. 4K, as far as the Amazon Fire, that's $50. So the Xbox app and the Sony app will be on there as soon as early as this month. Be also going to the bin store August 3rd, obviously to see what they got too, because I might get my PC from that store too, as well as that way I can watch my streams on PC as well, and multitask and play on it too as well. But yeah, I'm getting a PC soon. It's going to be for original price at the bin store. Cause I told my mom I was going to the bin store when I got back from walking outside earlier today. I said I was going to go to the bin store August 3rd, but I had to set up Dart for on July 29th for August 3rd, and I'll be going to the bin store for the first time ever to see what electronics they got that I can buy. Pretty much, including if they got Nintendo Switch. If they got that, I'm definitely buying that too. Just had to get the games digitally, and I had to get the hard drive to install because most of these Nintendo Switch games are big. But anyways, and I'll be able to play multi-platform Microsoft on the Fire TV Stick and play Nintendo Switch Lite on the console I might get from the bin store if they got it for a reasonable price. But yeah, the Xbox app will be on there soon enough on Fire TV Stick 4K and 4K and potentially the Sony app. Once we find out when they're gonna put the app on it, but I think it's gonna be this month, most likely in the middle of this month when they do it. And once they do it, that's a wrap for Sony. That's a wrap for Sony because Sony don't got no first parties. Cause I know my cousin is in the business and well the first party. And I said, well, they're on Microsoft now, and also Sony doesn't have Square Enix no more now. It might be owned by Microsoft by the time to go to the Gamescom later on this year. While Sony would skip the Gamescom for a fifth straight year in a row. And you already know what that means. You already know what that means. Anyways, get back to the short. Mm-hmm. Microsoft's gonna make a killing as far as playing on Fire TV, and Sony might make a killing to some extent too, as far as playing on Fire TV stick as well. You don't need your, you don't need an Xbox. You just need the Fire TV 4K or the 4K Max, which is $60 for the 4K Max from last year's model, 4K Max Fire TV stick, or the regular 4K, which is $50. Be getting that soon enough as well. But I might get a Nintendo Switch later on from the bin store later on August 3rd, and then I have both. I'll be playing on Microsoft on Fire TV stick and Nintendo Switch. If I can find it for a reasonable price, but I think at the bin store, this store I'm going to on August 3rd, once it's set up the ride on Monday, July 29th. Monday, July 29th. No, I have a doctor's appointment on July 19th, and I had to talk to my nurse, obviously, and I got two appointments coming up on the 18th and the 19th, but one's a telecall, one's physical appointment, then I be going to the Ben store August 3rd to see what they got for us electronics. I might be able to get my PC from the Ben store, and I might be able to get Nintendo Switch from the Ben store as well for a reasonable price. Once I get that Fire TV stick, 4K, so I will be able to play Microsoft on Fire TV stick 4K, and potentially Sony as well, and then play on Nintendo Switch as well. Once I find at the Ben store if they got the Nintendo Switch right, if they do, I'm definitely grabbing it for sure, for sure. Mm-hmm. You don't need an Xbox. Hell, if you got Sony, that's fine, but Sony don't have no first parties. And I told my cousin that's down the way. I ain't saying his name obviously, but I've been calling him out too when it comes to this because why he doesn't want to talk, why he's not talking about this, why he's not talking, knowing that we need to talk about this. We need to talk about this. I got every source to roast him too. Why he don't buy these games either. Especially if you have multiple consoles, he stays with the one too much. Knowing he's saying Microsoft's garbage. If it was Microsoft's garbage, they would never have all these studios. They have almost 40 studios. To my family that's in the basement right now, sleeping around. 40 studios, man. 40 studios almost. The Sony's less than 10 or 10 or less studios, pretty much. Let's get back to the short. Yeah, Sony's in trouble now because Microsoft's going to make a killing as far as if playing on Fire TV stick, and Sony as well to some extent is going to make a killing as far as that too, pun intended. Back to the short. Microsoft's going to kill it. Damn, indeed. Not good for Sony right now. Next short, here we go. Sony's lack of games right now, and them being innovative when it comes to their games is costing them dearly. Single player games are not sustainable. Because they're spending over $300 million on these games, on these single player games, and these first single player games, and these other single player RPGs. What? $300 million? The amounts they're breaking even. They're breaking even pretty much. We're gonna get back to the short, anyways. $50 for the Fire TV Stick 4K, $60 for the Fire TV Stick 4K Max. And once you get either one, you'll be able to play Sony and Microsoft on your Fire TV Stick. And I see a lot of people potentially getting Nintendo Switch pretty much because Nintendo has a lot more games than you think, especially getting them digitally or physically. So, like I said, Sony's in trouble. I just saw the console war. I pretty much ended it after I saw that showcase. And after my uncle and aunt showcase, pretty much. It was done from the beginning because, like King David said on Xbox Frontline when I was watching the stream, every day pretty much, all streams every day pretty much. Sony is cooked. They're done. With the King said, no PlayStation 6, you know how to do it. We're going to keep the Blue on Connect this entire We're going to keep the Blue on Connect this entire generation. Where my cousin likes that or not. We're in a different era. We're not in 2014 no more, bro. We're in 2024 now. You're almost 25. You're almost where I was age-wise. I was at age in 2019. To return, the glory still reigns in golf. Glory still reigns in golf, Mr. Francis. You be all right. Because LeBron's running out of time. And knowing that, sports in this stream, models, so just a little bit. Talk about that a little bit in my next stream, pretty much. But that's another story in my next stream. But yeah, get back to the short. Microsoft's going to make a killing in Sony's third party now. And you know what that means, right? That means any game they're making, for a single player or counting first, second, or third party, they're barely even making these games, and they're barely even breaking even. They're spending over $300+ million on every RPG. Every RPG, including second and third party, they even spend $300 million on these superhero and anti-hero games, and that's not sustainable. Sony is not enough. I'll be playing Microsoft on Fire TV Stick and Sony on Fire TV for life, and potentially Nintendo Switch as well. Once I find that at the Ben store, once I go to the Ben store on August 3rd. But anyways, get back to the short. Microsoft's going to make a killing for the Fire TV Stick 4K and Fire TV Stick 4K Max, because you'll be able to play Sony and Microsoft on the Fire TV Stick. And if you got Nintendo Switch, even better, because you can just plug that up to your modem and play on your got pretty much. So it's multi-platform for life. But my cousin likes that and I hate her. Because he stays well with the one console too much. He don't even buy the games. He'd rather demand or go through other means instead of buying them himself. He's saying, you was able to buy that controller without going through other means. You should be able to buy these other games without other means. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Sony might be out of the console space because, like I said, their sales are not enough. And that's all Sony got right now. The consoles, the consoles. I said, well, you forget the era. I say it again. The PS1, the PS2, the PS3, the PS4, and the PSP era is the reason why PS5 is sudden. Let's not forget those eras either. And much you keep overlooking those eras. The best era was PS4, where my cousin likes that or not, and Diamante as well likes that. I said, no, it was not the best era. I said, yes, it was. I think I got all those platinums for it because they had a lot of retro games to play. And long as they continue to get killed for those retro, they're going to make Sony can make a killing off those retro games and second and third party games because they don't got no first party. They don't. They're not even going to have prototype 1 and 2 no more. So that's going to be on Microsoft, bro. So the only way you'll be able to play prototype 3 and 4, you had to get Microsoft pretty much. Otherwise, you got no Activision games to play. You're down to the Samurai games. And I want them to play all these games. You can't defy this sin, man. Come on. Your parents will not be happy about you committing that sin, man. Like, come on. You know thou shalt not kill is a sin. Whether you like it or not, you either use the hands of God or you might as well get yourself arrested. And I told them, you better get out of that life. I'm serious, man. It's not worth a murder charge using a sword. Bad enough my father-in-law was in that life. My uncle that was dead that was in that life of a gunsman. You don't want to end up like them, getting a life sentence or death sentence. Because that'd be your next step. You want to keep your job, you use the hands that God gave you. I mean that, dear mom. I'm not playing, man. I'm not playing, man. As a friend that knows about being a fighter, I did not use weapons. I knew what it took to be in that life, but I didn't use the weapons. I used the hands that God gave me. So yeah. Anyways. This is so sad for Sony, it's not funny. I know Diamante gonna say the console says well, but I told Diamante they don't got no first parties. And you be able to play Sony on your phone and tab, and also play it on Fire TV Stick if you got that too. Diamante as well. But like I said, you can't overlook what Sony has done, but you can't overlook what Microsoft's done good wise either. They're killing it right now. They have more studios than Sony. Like I said. Anyways, back to the short, obviously. Damn, Sony, what y'all doing right now? Next short, obviously. Here we go. And you see my words right there. Microsoft won the console war. Sony fanboys make me sick to this day. I got a lot of views on that too, and a lot of views and likes on that one too. But like I said, man, this is not good for Sony. Sony got no first parties. They're third party now, and you know what that means. They not going. Their console sales are not enough. They're not enough, and you know what that means. You know what that means. I know my cousin's gonna say the console sales. The console sales. I said, well, why would y'all get the PS? Why would y'all get the PS5 where he could just play Sony on Fire TV Stick? It makes sense, don't it? It's genius, ain't it? It's genius, ain't it? Because if he already got his games, all I gotta do is just install on the Fire TV Stick, and he's good. Same way with me on Microsoft. I just have to get Game Pass Core, and all I had to do is just buy the games I was going to play for him to get 100% on Microsoft, pretty much, and just go from there. And then buy Nintendo Switch, and just fancy games on that too. Buy Nintendo Switch as well if I want to go to the bin store on August 3rd, and then have play Microsoft Fire TV Stick and Nintendo Switch on the Nintendo Switch. But yeah, you get that there. You get that there. The Fire TV 4K is $60. I said that again, obviously. The Fire TV Max from last year is $50, and the Fire TV Max is $60. So you'd be able to play any Xbox game on Fire TV Stick and Sony as well. So Sony might make somewhat of a killing, but the only reason why Sony's going to do that is because they're copying. They're not being creative, they're being innovative. They're copying too much. And that's Sony's demise right now. Sony's demise right now. But yeah, back to the short. Anyways, you be able to play those games on Sony on and Microsoft on Fire TV stick, and you know what that means, right? You don't need a console. You don't need the Microsoft console. If John gets PS5, and only if he got it out of convenience, he didn't really have to get it. That was by choice. He didn't have to really get it. And I told my cousin too, he had to really get it. He only got it because the RPGs he wanted to play. Obviously, he's going to Eternal Hunter to play those. All those RPGs for Square Enix are big. But anyways, that's the only reason why he got it. Otherwise, he would never got it in first, and he would have been playing Capcom as well. He would have been playing Capcom to me because I'm the one that has Ultra Street Fighter 4 digitally and Street Fighter 5 championship, standard game with the championship edition cover on it as well. So he'd be able to play Capcom as well, get back to playing online. He just had to train more. But that's the only reason he got PS4 because he's been playing Capcom and the RPGs and finishing those games and playing those out pretty much. Otherwise, he would never got PS. He would have stuck to Microsoft, and that's just a fact. And he could play Microsoft on his Fire TV, um, Fire TV box. No, not box. I said the wrong word. Cube. Since he already got that, Bree, your mom wants you. Um,
Yeah. Mommy, goodness, a little old for me. What?
she's she's in the kitchen. She's in the dining room, Bree.
Oh, from there.
But anyways, like I was saying, I was distracted, guys. But anyways, like I said, John only got PS5. It was only because he wanted to play the RPGs and the retros and Capcom, pun intended. Otherwise, he would have never got it. He would have stuck to Microsoft pretty much. But he don't have to get the Microsoft. All he got to do is just put the Fire TV Cube on, and once he gets we find out when the Xbox app is on there on the Fire TV Stick 4K and 4K Max. That's a wrap for Sony right there. That's genius. That's genius. You gotta have Game Pass Core like me to get the 100 games they give you free. The 25 games, I think it's 50 games they give you free. But the other ones you have to buy pretty much. And counting the free to play, the free to play is already there. You just have to install them. But on the Fire TV Stick, you get those free to plays free. You just had to finish them pretty much. And then the other games, if you don't got the games you obviously playing, couldn't take it, you have to buy those even at the Xbox store on the Fire TV Stick. But yeah, I said to my cousin, who gets them free, John? Because Xbox Game Pass also like Netflix. Who gets them free and buys them and gets the free plays and finishes them 100% like me. So I went against they ain't got no game, they ain't got no game. I said, still. And I said, boy, you running out of excuses right now because, like I told my cousin that's in the basement house, they got first parties. Microsoft has every studio, first party, second party, third parties, the retros, the free to plays. They got over 10,000 free to plays that you can play and finish and get 100%. Counting the retros as well, even if you don't buy them right away. The retro ones you do have some of the retros you do have to buy. The other ones you get free. But yeah, they have over 10,000 free to plays. They got over 10,000 games you can buy, including the retros. Counting Super the Astronaut again, I got 100%. I had to get 100% on the Fire TV Stick on Microsoft as well. And then also that game is on a Nintendo Switch as well, so you be able to play that too as well. I'll be able to play that too as well and get 100% in that too as well. But yeah, that's the whole point of multi-platform where my cousin always stays well with the one. I said, look, man, you're overlooking the era we're in now. This is not the previous era as far as physical media, and physical media goes away as of July 30th. Think about that too, son. Think about that too, son. Physical media is gone, cousin Ken. Physical media is gone. Know when you get physical media through GameStop, eBay, or the GameStop app, the digital store app, and also through the store. That's only you get the physical media still. Otherwise, it's all digital. We're pretty much powering our games pretty much. Let me get back to the short. Sony could be out of the industry because, like I said, Hayden Hurst and the agency are taking some serious heat right now. They can't catch a break right now. They're in serious trouble. They might go back to the original positions if they're not careful. Anyways, and I told Demonte as well. as a friend, true friend, I was in the life fire. They used the hands that God gave me pretty much. They don't got no first party. Any games you were playing, including Prototype 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, once they make 3 and 4, I was like, they're all on Microsoft now. So either Microsoft or no Microsoft them out there as well. Either you get it or you don't get it. You want to play it that bad, you had to get Microsoft to play Activision. Especially those games, because I knew you was invested in those games, per se. And if you were playing it against the Five Samurai games, including the ones you had to get Microsoft on, because some of those games are also on Microsoft and Sony as well, but most of them are on Microsoft. But yeah. So either you get Microsoft to play Activision, it's either Activision or no Activision for you, counting the Samurai games. So your core days of playing those games and being in that life is over. That thou should not kill sin is gonna be done for you, done for you. We're still friends though, man. Like, come on, you can't be in this life. But you like it or not, and you knowing my fault is still there. I know you say it's completely dead, but I said, unlike you, my fault, your fault has been just good as my fault. You know, my fault has been dead for a long time. And I say it again. If your father was alive right now, he would not be happy you committed thou shalt not kill. You got him a criminal record on his file, and you don't want that. Nobody wants to be in that life. My uncle was in that life. That was dealing. It was for gunsman. My father-in-law, my stepfather per se, but father-in-law was in that life of a samurai too. And his horoscope and astrology played a factor because he was a Libra. But anyways, he was in that life. You don't want to be in the life like them too. You don't want to end up like them too, where you get hostile and then you end up getting a murder charge, and then you be wondering why you're in jail. It's not worth it, damn. I'm telling you, get out of them games, man. It's more than just samurai games. That's one dimensional. When you defy thou shalt not kill, I don't give a damn if we are friends, of which we are. I was like, you will not be in that life. You understand me? You understand me? I know you said that you defy that man. I don't give a crap when it comes to that life. So you sure should. You want to get a murder charge? Women will have to arrest you if I'm there to see it. Women will have to arrest you if I'm there to see it. Sony's in trouble, like I said, whether Diamante likes that or not. And I told them they don't got no first parties, man. Come on. And I told my cousin also that's in the basement too. They got no first parties. This was the worst. And the comment on this too. If I start the short, I was this was the worst generation ever. This was the worst generation ever for the consoles, pretty much. Because Sony was dry for most of this year, all but Tekken 8, which I knew was going to be this year's game of the year. Not surprised. Because they're going to fight the movie down when we actually watch between Tekken 8 the movie and Tekken 9 the movie. Once Tekken 9 comes out in January and Tekken Tag Team Tournament 3, the last two coming out in January because Mr. Harada and Mr. Murray are about to retire soon. But anyways, yeah. I told you, man, you got to get out of that life, man. You got to start to find that samurai life. Because once you keep to find that samurai, you will never make it, you will never survive on this earth. Ever. Ever. Especially if you're trying to live a long time on this earth. You will not survive. Gotta get out of that life, man. Gotta get out of that life. This me as a true friend, as a Taurus, and a air baby on the Hans that you will not be in that life as long as I say it, and I'm not there to see it. I'm in a different city now, but you will not be in that life no more. That's the only sin you committed other than envy. I know you're gonna say controversy. I said, look here, turmoil. Look here, turmoil. I'll say that's it. You will not be in the samurai. You understand me? You understand me? I think you heard me loud and clear on this, dear Monte. Loud and clear. You will not be in this life. You get to fight in the game, but you can only fight in real life either. I'll give a damn if you are dealing with mental health issues or one mental health. You will not defy that life. You will not get your mama murder charge. You understand me? You understand me? I know you're gonna say enjoy your third party game. Say bullshit, Diamante, because like I said, and I'll say it again, Diamante, as well. You understand what the white people are going to. I know you said I'm fanboy, and not too much. This was I can't stand it. I said, well, I don't want to been calling out Sony all year long, most of this year and all of last year and back 2022 and years ago, because Sony was in deep doo doo before it even ended. Pretty much once that showcase showed up, Microsoft pretty much. Jim Ryan was lying too much, and I told Jim Ryan was lying too much. I wanted a new era because Jim Ryan was lying too much, so, to the point that he never got fired, which would have been at 30% for his life. He'd have been the one in the 30% to get laid off because he did too much, and he was lying too much. And knowing that ABK did when Sony has no first parties, and Microsoft's gonna make a killing for the Call of Duty, including the old ones and the new ones, even on Fire TV stick that I had to buy again as well. But yeah. Including Soul Calibur, I had to buy that game, the cosmetics, and I had to buy Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition. I had to buy all other games. There's 6 games I had to get add-ons for, including Capcom First Stadium and Second Arcade Stadium. But yeah, And you see my sorry, I was talking a lot, and I was supposed to stop it at 20, but it's okay. It's gotten 30 pretty much. But Microsoft Fire TV is on fire. Microsoft Fire TV is on fire. It's also playing Sony on Fire TV stick. It's also fire too as well. You see my words right there in that short, pretty much. We're gonna get back to the short. What Microsoft comes in? What Microsoft comes? I know you're gonna say controversy, controversy. I was like, look here, turmoil. Look here, turmoil. This is how much I changed compared to you. Are you going to not defy that thou shalt not kill sin? You keep defying that all you want. There's a reason why you will not have any responsibilities on this earth. Think about that too. I'll give that if you all defy you say you cannot defy that life as a weaponsman either. Regardless if it ran in your genes or not. And your mom would tell you better than my mom would tell you. Your mom would tell you better than my mom would tell you. Don't be in that life. It's not worth it. You use the hands of God. You use the hands of the mom God gave you. God gave you. You understand me, dear mom? You understand me? As a friend, true friend for short of a Taurus, whether you like it or not either. Because you manipulate the situation with finding that thou shalt not kill certain money. I don't like what you're doing, Devontae, with that either. You need to stop doing that. You need to stop doing that, man. Seriously, seriously. You gotta get out of that life. It's not worth a murder charge. It's not even worth a death sentence. Hell, it's not even worth an injection sentence. Hell, it's not even worth getting an electric chair because that's what they want to give you. You can kill somebody with a sword. Trust me, trust me. I should know about the law too well for knowing being a cop and a security officer. You cannot be in that life. Because otherwise, Winland, your friend Winland, had to arrest you in front of your family. You don't want that for me either if I was doing that job right now. Conflict of interest or not. And you be able to play, yeah, Fire TV stick, but getting back to what I was saying, obviously. Playing Fire TV stick, playing on Fire TV stick with Sony and Microsoft's going to be absolute fire because Sony's going to make a killing, but you don't know why Sony copied this because Microsoft was going to do this from the beginning anyway. So what Xbox? What Xbox? But anyways. But yeah, get back to the short, obviously, yeah. So you said 4K and $50 for the Fire TV stick 4K Max, and the 4K, no, $60 for the 4K Max, and $50 for the 4K Max, which I'll be getting soon now as well. But like I said, you got a homie so not being in that like dear man. I told you, you will not defy this life. Because while you keep defying, you want to be on the path of hell at its finest. Your parents were better than that, better than my parents. My parents were not the best parents that I had fathers, in-law, and a mom on this earth. My parents were terrible. My best parent was my father and my grandmother on the Heinz end. And my cousins I've been on the Heinz end too. They were my best family members. They taught me well as an air baby. Better than my mother right now. Better than my father-in-law right now. Better than my sisters right now. My sisters were not the best sisters either. Hell, I told them, I didn't get a chance to tell them all this, but your sisters were better than my sisters. And that says a lot because one of my sisters, both my sisters were envious and apathetic of me because I actually had things, I was able to conquer things they couldn't conquer. They had too much envy and other things. And even when they would try and cause them doing right, they wasn't doing well. And they would define bullies too. Even with all, they envy my so-called sisters, half sisters and all, were envying me. And your sister didn't do that to you, so you should be great. You have better sisters than me because my family was terrible on the Hutchinson. And some of my family, not all of it, but some of it. The Hines legacy was the best I had for us being an air baby on this earth. They raised me right, and my father raised me right to the carry on his inheritance of a broadcaster in my dream jobs, pun intended, like I said. I told them all that you can't defy this white man. You can't defy this thou shalt not kill sin. It's the worst way to go to hell. Trust me on this. Trust me yet, you sure should, but you sure should, because I know about it being a cop and security officer in the Lord, too well, I know about Ace Attorney. You will serve your time for your sins. Sony's lack of games, like I was saying, get back to what I was saying, Sony's lack of games are costing them dearly. And their innovativeness is costing them dearly too. They're not creative. They find what one of my friends that's in the basement is to find too much innovation. You said you can't do that when you're playing rage quitting games. You had to be in a rhythm when you're playing the win, not being innovative. You had to be creative and innovative. You can't just be one. You can't be just innovative. When you're innovative, that's going to cost you else the easy way or the hard way, or both. Trust me. In their first part, their signal part of the games are not sustainable. $300 million for all their all their single player games. That is insane. That is insane. $300 million. Come on, man. Come on, man. They barely breaking even for these second parties. Spending almost $200 million on the second parties and third parties. That's insane. That's insane. They're not sustainable. Only that's saving it is the sport games and the other games at the 5-person count, Borderlands as well. Otherwise, those games would be at $300 million as well because a lot of people spending money on those pay to win things and the cosmetics and other things. But yeah, you get the idea. You get the idea. I have to show up anyways. Hayden Hurst is and comment on that too. Hayden Hurst is taking some serious heat right now, and the agency he's working with too is also taking some serious heat because they're putting all the games to PC. They're putting all the games to PC. This is not good. This is not good. But anyways, going right now. All right, guys. That was all my shorts out this week. Made a and I told my cousin that's in the basement. I said, why he don't want to talk about this? Why he don't want to talk about these console wars? Because he's going to use this. I already know he's going to use the same old articles from 2014. You said you got to stop using Wikipedia too much. Because Wikipedia is not always factual. That's false information. Some of it might be true. Some of it might be true. Some of it might not be. The reason why my cousins don't want to talk about these console wars, obviously, is I know too much. I've done my research real far. My sources for the console. I was able to solve it and end it pretty much. Now you can play Microsoft and Sony on Fire TV Stick now, and probably have another console to your disposal to have something else to do while you're not playing on Microsoft per se on Fire TV. If you're finishing games, pretty much you can finish it on another console. But Microsoft and Nintendo's one the console. Well, I know Joe said that's not true. I said yeah, it is because they got every exclusive, and they got all the first part and second part, including Mario, Sonic, Shimu. On Nintendo Switch, I can buy those games easy on Nintendo Switch once I go to the bin store on August 3rd. But like I said, I know my cousin don't want to talk about this, but we're going to have to talk about it. We need to talk about this right absolutely now. Once you get more time off, obviously, other than the 2 days you got currently, because 2 days is not enough to talk about this. We need to talk about this right now because Joe thinking Sony's doing all right and they're not doing all right. I told them all they do. Sony's not doing all right. They're doing terrible. This is the worst era we have for the console generation we have ever had. We have ever had. Ever. That says a lot for me because I've done research. Sony, the PS4 and Xbox One might be holding it back. So most of my friends still have their PS4s currently. When I had it, obviously, but like I said, Fire TV Stick is going to make a killing if I was playing Microsoft and Sony on the Fire TV Stick 4K and 4K Max. It's going to make a killing. Trust me. And I told them, you trust me? Yeah, you trust me? You sure shouldn't, but you should. But you have to trust me as a friend, though, because the horoscopes and as charge plays a factor in this. Always take accountability for your sins, too. Especially when you can only committed one or less. Or just the one you just committed, which was the worst one. But anyways, I understand right there, guys. But we need to talk to Cousin Ken about the console, whether he likes it or not. Because I know you're going to say, the console. I said, well, you don't have no facts to back that up because the errors that started there. And I said again, we need to talk to Cousin Ken about these console wars. But okay, guys. I understand right there. I'll make another stream after this. Yeah.